What is up, viewers? How are you all doing today? Usually, I reserve these live streams just for members. We do this like 3 or 4 times a week if you're a member, but I'm doing it for everybody today. Yes, I'm using the NBC theme. I've been using that for live streams like way before NBC brought it back. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you all. Clearly, a lot of people are just catching the news right now. Now, first of all, the overwhelming favorite is that LeBron James is going to the Golden State Warriors, but that's not the official part. The official part is this tweet right here from Shams. Okay, LeBron James will continue his NBA career for the 2026 to 2027 season. Absolutely none of us thought he was retiring. That was we all knew that was a load of BS. LeBron likes his attention. He's not retiring. I think we've been doing this song and dance for the last 5 years now. Everybody knew he wasn't retiring. He has informed the Los Angeles Lakers, though, that the franchise can move on without him because he will play elsewhere. Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul tells ESPN. So the LeBron era in Los Angeles is finally over. It's over, guys. It is over. So now we could officially give our thoughts on this era. You gonna celebrate, Johnny? I don't think we're winning a championship regardless. Right now with San Antonio and OKC, I think they're going to be the main power in the Western Conference for a while. So we'll keep an eye on that. What's going to happen with his son, though? The Lakers are guaranteed. He has a guaranteed contract for this next season. So I imagine they'll keep him this year and then probably get rid of him after that. Unless LeBron says, like, you got to trade him to wherever I'm going. Now, again, everybody at this point is expecting the Golden State Warriors. All of that's still developing. Yesterday, there was reports that LeBron would not go to the Warriors unless they could manage to trade for Anthony Davis, but the Washington Wizards aren't just going to want to give away Anthony Davis for nothing, like Jimmy Butler and whatever second round picks they could come up with. But now, even if that's not being the case, apparently Golden State's still the favorites. It doesn't surprise me that in the year of our Lord 2026, LeBron is still doing the GM stuff. He still got it. The misery is over. Greatest Laker ever. No. Definitely not. I am going to try to emphasize my members because you guys obviously are the biggest supporters of the channel right now. One of them I see in the chat, Fufo. Is there a path for the Lakers to win this year? Who did they sign? It was funny because after the Austin Reeves deal, we thought that we didn't have much cap space. A lot of us did, but there's been experts who've been breaking down the contracts and everything. Apparently, we still got like $50 million worth of cap space. So a lot of room, apparently. Thank God, please retire. He's not retiring. That much we know. Let's see here. Thank the good effing Lord. Have mercy. Shut him. Let's just say cycling is not a LeBron fan. That much we know. Mr. Reese, you're always in here, said, would LeBron to Golden State Warriors make any sense whatsoever? If LeBron went to the Warriors and let's say they got AD as well, that hypothetical starting five would be around 35 years old. I think the exact number that they were putting on it was 34.5 years old. 6 years ago, you hear LeBron, AD, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry, and you think automatic championship. But at this point, with OKC being as good as they are, with San Antonio being as good as they are, I mean, it makes sense in the sense that LeBron's always looked for great players to team up with, and they're going to make some noise, and he gets to go out, on his terms. He gets to go out alongside of friends, So I guess that part makes sense. Would they be my championship favorites? No, I don't think so. Isaiah, what's up, dude? Says, still happy the clown show is leaving. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me how I'm feeling. I'm very happy about this. I'm ready to move on. I don't think we're winning a championship with LeBron or with LeBron or without LeBron, but I do think we can build for the future now. I think what Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves need is kind of mimic the model that got Luka to the finals with the Dallas Mavericks. If you remember that Mavericks team that got to the NBA finals, Like Kyrie and Luka were not great defensive players, and that's the same thing here with Reeves and Luka. LeBron adds one other player that I can at least play decent defensively in key moments where he picks his spots, but the vast majority of the time, LeBron at this age is very much a defensive liability. And so now we've cleared that up. Now what we need is defensive dogs on the perimeter, and we need guys who can protect the rim. We need good centers, and it's not DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton accepted his opt-in contract, so he's going to be back another year. But I would like it if he was backing up for the Lakers. The Mavericks, when they made the finals, they had Derek Lively and they had Daniel Gafford protecting the rims, playing out of their minds. So that is absolutely what I'd like to mimic for the Lakers. People have asked me, funny enough, who like the dream pairing is with Luka. I'm not being a delusional Lakers fan. This isn't going to happen. But if you ask me hypothetically, who's that perfect player I'm looking forward to play alongside Luka, regardless of whether or not it's going to happen, it's Rudy Gobert. It's somebody like Rudy Gobert that could just absolutely protect the rim, block shots, be an anchor defensively. Now, obviously, we'll have to get a discount version of him, but that's something I want. I've had a lot of members suggesting good stuff like that. But anyway, Isaiah, thank you for the super chat. Anybody who sends a super chat, it's not expected, but of course I'm going to read it if you do. And I'm going to try to emphasize members too, because they are my biggest supporters. My co-host on the Johnny Talks pod and a member of the channel as well, Dario, good to see you, man, says apparently Jalen might be on the move, will be a good young big. Yeah, and so he's definitely somebody the Lakers are looking at right now. He actually had a meeting scheduled with the Lakers today. So as we're all catching wind of this, I think everybody's kind of known what's been going on for a while. I think LeBron's known that he was going to leave the Lakers. Ramona Shelburne of the Lakers, she's been a beat writer for the Lakers forever. She said that Luka Doncic and Rob Pelinka days ago had a meeting, probably even weeks ago. They had a meeting and they mapped out the future of the team, and LeBron James was not a part of the conversation. Now, some people are going to turn that into drama, saying like Luka and LeBron don't like each other. They don't like want to play together. And that may or may not be true, but it also could be LeBron told Luka a long time ago he's moving on and what his plans are. And if that's the case, of course, LeBron's not going to be a part of their plans. So let me get caught up with chat a little bit. Unlike the member streams, I'm not going to be able to read everything, but I'll do my best. Rise of Members says, yay. So, right, Kobe pick there. He's very happy about the fact that they're moving on. Lakers are moving on. Again, building for the future. I completely understand. Luka was injured this year. Austin Reeves was hurt this year. If we don't have LeBron, we don't get past the first round. But if you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you've got Luka Doncic in the prime of his career, still in his 20s, we need to be competing for championships as soon as possible. And I just don't see us being serious doing that if we're giving a player who's going to be turning 42 years old next season around $50 million or so. We paid him $52 million this last season. So honestly, I'm seeing a lot of people who are very excited about the fact that LeBron's going. We don't know what's going on with Bronny. The only thing we know about Bronny right now is that he's guaranteed to get paid by the Lakers this upcoming season. So his contract's guaranteed. Now, that doesn't mean the Lakers need to keep him. They could just pay him and cut him off the team because they want that roster spot for somebody who they think is more deserving. So we'll see. If that happens, then he's got his guaranteed money. Then he could just go play with his dad wherever he goes. I imagine that's going to be a package deal. I think wherever LeBron goes, Bronny goes, and Bronny's career probably ends sometime soon after LeBron retires. I hate to say that, but that's just kind of how it goes. 50 million, 42 years old. Again, we don't know. To catch everybody up, because I know you guys are all just pouring in here and catching the news, the overwhelming favorites and the talk of the town right now is that LeBron's going to Golden State, but that part isn't official. Cleveland's still in the mix, apparently. Miami Heat are still in the mix. The one thing we do know for sure, and it came from the mouth of Rich Paul himself, LeBron James is leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. And bad legacy move. I think the best legacy move would have been going back to Cleveland. If he goes to Golden State, there's a chance it ends ugly in the sense that maybe they do like the 2012, 2013 Lakers thing where everybody ends up injured and they end up disappointing, don't meet preseason expectation, and then LeBron's career ends that way, going out sad on another super team. I think if he went back to Cleveland, there's no really bad ending. That's just a good ending because you already won a championship for an NBA franchise that had never won a championship before. And it's a storybook ending, even if you don't go out on the best of terms. But if you make the kind of super team they're talking about them making with Steph, LeBron, AD, and Draymond Green just recently opted out. It sounds like they're already kind of structuring things where some guys are going to make sacrifices to make this old man super team happen. So we'll see about that. Let me check chat. Let me make sure. Haven't Rise says, I will say this. I do appreciate Clutch sent this message today. Yes, I do appreciate that too, because apparently the Lakers still wanted to bring in LeBron. Now, at what price? I don't know. They might have been trying to bring in LeBron at a discount. LeBron's like, yeah, that's not happening. I was very afraid they were going to have us trapped for more days than we could afford. Knowing before July is good. Yes, because there's a lot of good players still on the market. There's a lot of movement that could still happen. It's going to be a wheelchair super team. Yeah, if they make it through that, season healthy, I'll be surprised. But at the same time, Steph Curry still got it. LeBron is not a good defensive player anymore. He's a liability there, but he showed in this first round of the postseason he could still be a threat. Okay. LeBron is still very much a threat. Okay. So, in the right context and the right situation, I think LeBron being on a young team with a bunch of good defensive players would be an ideal situation. Defensive players and 3-point shooters that he could kick it out to. Obviously, Steph is a good 3-point shooter, but he's not young and he doesn't play great defense. I think that team could be one of the top scoring teams in the NBA while being one of the worst scoring teams, worst defensive teams in the NBA. But again, we'll see. If it's just Steph, LeBron, AD doesn't go, and they got Draymond, I don't know. We'll see about that one. The dream pairing of Steph Curry and LeBron James, people have been fantasizing about forever, and it's finally happened just a lot later than a lot of us expected. They're all past their prime. Nobody really cares. See, that's the thing. I still think they'll definitely be a playoff team. Of course, they'll be a playoff team. I think they'll make some noise. I think they'll force people to care. Are they going to be NBA champions? I don't think so. I think in terms of the Western Conference, it's OKC and San Antonio's world, and the rest of us are just living in it. Curry on that team will be 2013 Kobe. That might be the case. We'll see. But again, that part isn't official. We have to see what happens. LeBron going to Golden State is the worst thing that could have happened to them. He's a ball stopper. They thrive by ball movement and shooting. He's poor at both, but whatever. The flame out continues. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes. LeBron is a ball dominant player. Obviously, he gets a lot of assists. He's a really good passer, but at the same time, adding him to your mix and your Golden State Warriors system that has operated a certain way for a very long time, that's going to be an interesting mix-up. This is like Wizards Jordan and Lakers Karl Malone teaming up. Lakers Karl Malone was all right. He's definitely not Steph Curry. Let's put it that way. Wizards Jordan, I've been saying this forever. People are going to get mad at me. Wizards Jordan was really nice until Eton Thomas ran into his knee and tore his meniscus. That's the one part that nobody brings the context of for the Jordan conversation. Jordan joined the worst team in the Eastern Conference, either that or the second worst team, and they were 26-21 before Jordan tore his meniscus. So they were going to be a playoff team. And on top of that, they were 15-1 with him and Richard Hamilton when they were both on the floor leading up to that meniscus tear. So it's like, do you blame Kevin Durant for the Warriors losing in 2019? No, because injury ruined it. It's the same thing with MJ in 2000 in that first season. The second season where they had Jerry Stackhouse, that was just a mess all around. Jordan was injured and coming off the bench to start that year. Yeah. LeBron's assists are fake. You sound like an angry old hoops fan. Sounds like that's where you come from. I'm definitely still planning. By the way, I got to apologize to everyone. I do. I apologize. I'm still planning on doing that LeBron assist video. Just, it's coming. I made that promise that I was going to make the video. Then I moved twice. I had a child. We had like a YouTube crisis where like revenue just tanked and then came back up. My life was chaotic. So I wasn't able to get it done. But now that things are settling down, I can watch about 12 LeBron games, analyze those assists, and make that video. So I'm getting ready to do that in the next couple months. If they were in the East, it would be a bigger deal. But being in the West, they are capped at the ability to win a chip. But you still never know what can happen. Like, again, in the NBA Finals, Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. Like, we see contenders, stuff happens. And a lot of times, like in the case of Tatum, they're young and opportunity arises. Now, that's a big assumption to assume that the Golden State Warriors, being one of the oldest starting fives in NBA history, if they get all the players they're aiming to get, are going to be the ones healthy in the postseason while the young teams get hurt. Yeah, it's kind of a big assumptions. Um, let's see here. What do you say? Actual diamond. Johnny, is your LeBron assist analysis coming out like you analyzed Jordan steals and blocks? Yeah, it probably won't be like as long just because there was a lot of setup for that one. And obviously I had to address like Habistro's article as well. But yeah, it's going to be like that one. Russell, the guy who edited that one, he doesn't work for me anymore, but I think I might have him even do like a one-off project for me and edit that one just so there's some continuity there and it looks similar. Let me see here. For some reason, StreamYards doesn't show me who's members, so I have to remember who my members are. So the best thing for LeBron from a legacy standpoint would be for him to go and win a ring. Oh, absolutely. I do think that's the best thing. And at the very least, it looks like that's what he's trying to do, and have some fun along the way, playing with some of these players. Now, the funny thing is, I didn't know that this was what I was going to go live for on the main channel, because there's some other crazy stuff being talked about that I want to show you guys as well. I could bring up the article right now, but what apparently is supposed to go official either today or tomorrow is Kawhi Leonard going to the Toronto Raptors. By the way, all this Pokemon stuff is my wife. She's got a Pokemon channel if anybody's interested. I blew up the screen and it's like, that looks like all my stuff. It's not. That's my wife. She has a Pokemon channel called Pokebook Girl. There's her free plug. Let's see here. Where will Brown end up? We don't know. Apparently, the Clippers are positioning themselves to go after Jaylen Brown because they're expecting to lose Kawhi. They're almost certainly going to lose Kawhi, so they're going after him. Denver is one of those teams that really want to get Jaylen Brown. Do they have the assets to pull it off, or would they be willing to give up? You probably have to give up Jamal Murray and maybe Aaron Gordon to make that one done. I don't know. But Brown has been causing a lot of drama for the Celtics organization. He's been on social media. He's been kind of in a roundabout way bad-mouthing the organization. I think there's no way he's starting this season in a Celtics jersey. I don't see that happening. Cycling says, hey, your LeBron assist vid should look at his assist to turnover ratio. He barely in the top 30 best all time. Last I checked, like below John Morant level bad. He's not a good passer. His volume. So what I'm looking at, I already have the games. I'm looking at about 10 games from his 2019 to 2020 season where he led the NBA in assists per game. I feel like that's the best one to choose from because, again, he did lead the NBA in assists per game. I think it was that season. It's definitely from his Lakers years where he got his career high in assists per game, where he got, in assists for a game, which was 19. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. I think originally I said I was going to look at something like his Cleveland days, but back then he wasn't playing point guard. He wasn't getting as much assists. To me, it seems silly to do that. Come on, Johnny. Those Pokemons, those are your Pokemons. I'm still into Dragon Ball. It's okay. No, I'm huge into Dragon Ball. I got that's a Goku mug up there on top of my books and everything. That's Goku doing his Kaioken power up, or Kaioken. I've been saying it wrong my entire life, but what Pokemon is most similar to Johnny? I would hope you'd say Groudon, because Groudon's my favorite. There's my wife representing. Yes, Groudon. Let's do it. He's angry and he likes to destroy things. He should stay in Boston. About Jaylen Brown. Let's see here. Ronan's a member. Good to see you as always, man. He says, if he actually goes to the Warriors, I'd be disappointed. It always seemed like LeBron and Curry were in the silent competition to win more chips than the other guy. I get what you're saying. But through their rivalry, they became friends, and it was the same thing with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Now, obviously, much different players. I'm not turning this into which guys you like more. Bro, this clickbait. Sorry, I got to address this real quick. Not clickbait. Not clickbait because he's favored to go to the Warriors. That part isn't official. He is absolutely leaving the Lakers, like I said in the title, though. LeBron is gone. And Rich Paul just dropped an announcement. I'll share my screen again for anybody just coming in. This is real. Shams is talking about it. The backup for Woj. I still miss Woj, but Shams will do for now. LeBron is officially leaving the Lakers. There, you've heard it for the horse's mouth. Congrats to you and your Lakers, Johnny. They're going to be more fun to watch. I'm just excited about the fact that we get to build for the future. Again, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And the LeBron fans are going to hate me for this because they always hate me for this. It seems like my video aged pretty well saying we should have traded LeBron James several years ago. Because what did we win after that? We didn't win anything. And now he's walking out the door and we're getting nothing in return. Nothing. And we knew this was coming. I did not think he was going to finish his career as a Los Angeles Laker. So there you go. That chapter is finally closed now on that, my opinion, my super hot take that LeBron should have been traded. After that happened, it ended up with no finals appearances, a bunch of disappointing seasons, and nothing in return. But that's how it goes. Everybody's asking about Bronny. I've addressed it a few times, but I'll address it again for just people coming in. Guaranteed contract doesn't guarantee he's going to be there next year. We just know that the Lakers are going to pay him. Now the Lakers going to say free player, bring Bronny back. Might happen. Is LeBron going to say, hey, bring him to my team or trade him to my team? I'm sure we'll do that. I'm sure we'll just give him away for cash or something like that. But he's guaranteed to get paid by the Lakers, but the Lakers don't have to, have him be on the team just because they're playing him. They could still cut him and, maybe they want the roster spot more than they want a free Bronny. You know what I mean? You should go live more. I think I will, actually. I think the general viewers will enjoy it a little bit, maybe like once a month or twice a month. I'll go live, and I do it to plug the member streams, because on the member streams, if you become a member, then you'll see me live like 3 or 4 times a week. And we've been having a lot of fun over there. It's also nice to keep it a members thing because it means I can respond to every comment rather than just picking and choosing a couple here and there, because it's hard to keep up with. Let's see here. Once a week, says Jimmy. Give us once a week. Like I said, you get a lot if you're a member. What are you talking about, Johnny? By not trading LeBron, you got the Bronny experience. That's worth at least 3 NBA Cup titles. Man, cycling is coming out hot today. He is on his LeBron James family crusade. Like, we know you don't like him cycling. Thanks, man. Your content is great, brother. Always love your videos. Do it once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll figure it out. LA has sold a lot of souls for the Dodgers. May not be enough for other teams. Yeah, and this is an interesting talking point here, because I mentioned that the Lakers need to be serious about competing for championships right now because Luka Doncic is in the prime of his career. But it's more than that. The Lakers, for those of you who don't know, we just got a new owner, and the Lakers were sold for $10 billion. Now, they say Genie's still running things. I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe that's saving face. To me, that's crazy. You don't spend $10 billion to acquire a team and then relinquish all ability to control said team. Okay, I just think that's PR stuff. Genie looks good. He gets his team. The guy who bought the Lakers, his name is Mark Walter, okay? You want to know who Mark Walter is? The owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are back-to-back NBA champions, who are being criticized constantly for, quote, ruining baseball. They might win a three-peat this year. And the reason why they're, quote, ruining baseball is they keep buying the best players in the world. That's who the Lakers have as an owner now. So it's not just that Luka's in his prime and on the Lakers now. Is that we finally got an owner since Jerry Buss that feels like he's serious about success, okay? It's not just a family-run business anymore like it'd been with the Buss family, for a while. Obviously, Jerry Buss was serious about winning. But now we got a guy who's won in another sport. Not just that, but he's created a dynasty in another sport, and he's willing to pay. Luxury tax will not be an issue for Mark Walter. So, yeah, I'm excited to build for the future. Let's see here. If you had to pick who craps on the other more, old gens on modern day or new gens on past gens. Either way, I'm just kind of tired of it. I give my honest opinions about like players. People know I'm not a big fan of Kevin Durant. Not a huge fan of LeBron James. KD's my least favorite player. Like I'll tell you like it is, but I still respect their games, you know? And to me, I do miss the days of when I grew up being an NBA fan in like the 90s and the 2000s, where it just felt like we talked basketball more. Now it's almost like this weird divide of like fanboys and just like cult followings, you know, where it's like everybody's arguing for their guy instead of regularly talking basketball. My hope is that this channel can be an oasis where people can actually just enjoy basketball who prefer that rather than just being fanboys. That's why I'm not a big fan of LeBron, but at the same time, I'll occasionally make a positive video about LeBron, even though I don't like him, because to me, there's more to basketball than just like who's your favorite guy and who's your guy that you defend to your grave. Okay. I'll defend Kobe to my grave, but it doesn't mean I can't be objective about him and guys he competed against. Let's see here. I'm praying for the Lakers' downfall. Don't do that. You're saying that on my channel? Rude. Unfortunately, I love Luca not enough to cheer for LA. Well, hey, man, I hope nothing but blessings and good times for your Pistons. Thanks a lot. The Lakers and Boston have always won with super teams. Same for the Bulls. Yeah, I've said this a lot on the member streams recently. Kobe Bryant summed up the Lakers the best way. He had a quote where he said, "The Lakers don't rebuild, they reload." And it's absolutely true. The Lakers are not this team that builds up a dynasty primarily through the draft. No, they get out and get superstar free agents. Now, occasionally, of course, they hit a home run with the draft. They drafted Magic Johnson, which, of course, was the foundation of the Showtime Lakers. But Kareem, they went out and they traded for Kareem. Shaquille O'Neal was a free agent acquisition. They didn't draft Kobe. Charlotte did. They traded for Kobe. So the Lakers are definitely a team that reloads more so than rebuilds. And that's why I'm looking at this situation. And I've been ready to move on from LeBron James, because if we've got $50 million worth of cap space, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are both in that 27 to 28 range. We need to start building around them, not just to win now, but for the next 5 to 10 years. LeBron's going to be 50 something at that point, you know? So I am very happy today. It's not just like a, yeah, absolutely. Kobe was a home run. It's not just like a hate LeBron type thing, although I'm not always a big fan of his antics and that sort of thing. Also, we weren't rooting for LeBron at all before he showed up to the Lakers. But then he joined the Lakers and all of a sudden all us Kobe fans are like, wait a minute, we got to root for this guy. Definitely a successful stint. I had a video where I talked about that. I might have to like share it in a community post and talk about it. I think it's a really interesting topic. LeBron won at a rate in Los Angeles that was actually less efficient than the history of the Lakers without him. Now, to be fair, there were years where the Lakers had less teams to compete against in the NBA and that sort of thing. But when you come to the Lakers, it's not Cleveland. The expectations aren't Cleveland. You know, we want to be competing for championships. And I just feel like signing a 42-year-old player for $50 million who doesn't play defense, that's low-hanging fruit for the Lakers. You should be going after the best of the best. And you got to keep your options open in order to do that. Rob Pelinka cooked. We act like getting Kobe on draft day isn't as valuable as drafting him. I'm not saying that. I'm just making the point that the Lakers have always built their dynasties for the most part through making acquisitions, not just drafting players, through making acquisitions, trades, free agency. Wilt Chamberlain was a trade, you know, just all the players I just mentioned before that. So it goes on and on. Even LeBron James. Obviously, we did not draft LeBron. We went out and got him. And thanks to Magic Johnson for being an executive, he helped that happen. I've always kind of had a mixed idea of LeBron's time as a Laker, and I think we should talk about that a little bit. How do we evaluate LeBron's time in Los Angeles? Was it a success? I think it just depends on who you ask. I'm a little on both sides. I think LeBron has overstayed his welcome to the extent that I'm ready for him to leave and I'm ready to build and possibly win championships. Are we going to win championships? Probably not. I genuinely think if I had to place bets, Luka's probably going to end his career without a championship ring. I freaking hate to say that. But when I look at OKC and when I look at San Antonio and how young those teams are and how stacked they are, the only thing I can really hope for to blow those teams up is the second apron. I just hope that luxury tax just becomes so difficult for their owners that it's going to, break them apart and allow the Lakers to start establishing themselves. But at the very least, who's a free agent next year? And we know he's kind of unhappy in his current situation, Nikola Jokic, okay? He's not signing a contract extension. This news just broke about a couple days ago. So if Nikola Jokic is not going to sign a contract extension and he enters next offseason as a free agent, you don't think the Lakers having a boatload of money and having one of his best friends, Luka Doncic, on the roster is going to at the very least, be tempting for him? It might be. But if we have LeBron on the roster and he's taking up all that contract space, we can't even make moves like that. That's the point I'm making, is I think that we need to free ourselves up to build for the future because, again, when you're the Lakers, you have intrigue. Luka struggling to even win an MVP. He ain't winning a chip. We'll see. 100,000 or dinner with Johnny Arnett. I'm taking the latter. Well, I tell you what, $15 to become a legend member gives you a private conversation with me. You could even just do it for 1 month. And plus that then gets uploaded to my podcast channel, which is the Johnny Arnett channel. You get 15 minutes. Usually we go over, let's be honest. But you get 15 minutes with me if you become a legend member. So yeah, if you're willing, if you're passing up $100,000, which I don't think you should do that. I'm not that special, brother. But if you're doing that, why not just take the 15? What would you want for dinner, though? That's what I want to know. What are we getting for dinner? Luka Jokic in LA would be a crazy combo. We need some defensive guys to pick up the slack, that's for sure, especially considering the fact that Austin Reeves is still going to be on the roster. So whoever those fourth and fifth guys in the starting unit, we got to get stronger for sure. Jokic to going to LA would be the same level as KD. I definitely don't think that. KD went to a 73-9 team where their weakest position in their starting five, genuinely, their weakest position in their starting five, at least if you're looking at the playoffs that year, was Harrison Barnes. People forget that Harrison Barnes, the small forward position, he was throwing up brick after brick after brick in the 2016 playoffs. Just go look at his numbers. It's not hard to find it. Go to Basketball Reference, NBA.com, wherever you want to go, you're going to see it. KD joins there, 73-9 team. Immediately, they just feel so unfair, and they just cruise to that NBA championship, at least the first year. Rockets almost got him the year after that. Having dinner with Johnny Arnett on my bucket list before I die. Well, Fufo, I trust you. You've been a member for a long time. Best 15 minutes of your life. Pause. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. It's not anything weird. Do you think AR is worth that much money? Yeah, under the current collective bargaining agreement and the TV deals and everything, the money, and I've been hearing a lot of guys in the know say this, the money is going to start looking insane for the foreseeable future. Like, you're going to see a lot of players getting contracts where you're going to be like, I can't believe they're getting this. But because of inflation, because of just the insane contracts and everything, and because of the TV deals, basically everybody's going up. Is Austin worth that to us? Yes, because to me, it's not just about Austin. It's about Luka. Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic are two peas in a pod, okay? I remember how happy they look together and all the viral videos and their bond and their chemistry and everything. If you keep AR on the roster, you're probably keeping Luka happy. Now, could we spend that same amount of money theoretically and get somebody better than Austin Reeves? Yeah, theoretically. But those guys just aren't just waiting to be signed, like Jaylen Brown. You still have to win the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes in a trade. That's not just going to fall on your lap. So based on the current situation, yes. Now, if it had strapped us to the point that we can't acquire anyone else, I would say maybe he's not worth that. But like I said, the Lakers are still in this offseason with around $40 to $50 million worth of cap space. So we still got plenty of room to operate. And my hope is that whoever we get, whatever pieces we get to fill out this roster, because I don't think it's going to be a superstar player. I don't think it's going to be a big three. I hope we get some nice expiring contract type pieces so that we could go into next offseason and make the decision on whether or not we'll want to re-up with those guys. And then they'll be coming off the books. So we have a boatload of open space as soon as Nikola Jokic hits free agency. If you're the Lakers, that's what you're looking at. That's the future piece that you got to make sure you're available for, because that bond between Luka and Jokic, it's not a small thing. That's a big deal. A lot of people thought that if anything was going to happen, Luka might end up leaving the Lakers and going to play with Denver. But now Luka signed the contract extension, and it's Jokic who's actually being freed up. So it might be the other way around. Rhino, good to see you, dude. This guy's a member. You've been a member for 8 months, dude. I appreciate you so much. Public Live. Let's go, Johnny. More LeBron BS. Hooray. I'm sorry, Rhino. We're talking about LeBron James again, but he's off the Lakers. It's not something small. It's a big deal. He's off the Lakers. I try to be impartial about LeBron. I try to be honest. I think to a certain extent, LeBron kind of saved the Lakers, because listen, a lot of people are going to hate that because you hate LeBron. Fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Go off. You're allowed to hate whoever you want. Go off. But do you remember what the Lakers were like before LeBron and AD? We were in the Jim Buss era, dude. Like Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss, we were overpaying for guys like Timothy frickin' Mozgov and Luol Deng to long-term 4-year contracts, dude. We were garbage. The Robert Sacre era. Like the Lakers on Kobe's final season were 17-65. Okay. Then we had a bunch of young pieces. People say, well, if they didn't blow up that core, that could have been something nice. I mean, really? We would have been okay. But does a team with, say, Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle, obviously we're not going to keep all of those guys, Larry Nance Jr., does that sound like a championship team? Were we building a championship team? No. On top of that, the Lakers, the narrative was we were a joke of the franchise. We had lost all of our aura. We had lost all of our free agency intrigue because KD, when he went to the Warriors, he didn't even have a meeting with the Lakers. One of the best players in the NBA refused a meeting with the Los Angeles Lakers. Do you realize how bad that is? So I am grateful that LeBron came, but if I was general management, I wouldn't have kept him this long. I feel like at this point, he's had too much control on an organization that's ready to start building for the future. So I do feel like the welcome was overstayed, but at the same time, he made us relevant again. I understand that that's a take that nobody's going to like, because with LeBron James, you either love him or you hate him. And I'm kind of a middle ground where I'm like, I understand that we needed whoever we could get to make us relevant again. And that happened to be LeBron and eventually AD. AR can be what Kyrie was for him in Dallas. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think our best recipe for success is get rim protectors, get defensive wings to put around Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. If you've got Luka, LeBron, and Reeves on the floor, and obviously we had some moments we were good, some moments where we weren't good, but defensively, it's hard to make that up because now you got a lot of guys who are not great defensive players. Fufo, member for 9 months. You're on the top of the list right now. You got the 9-month membership. I keep forgetting I can do this. Everyone becomes a member so you can get mad at me saying the Star Wars. We're not going to turn this into a nerd stream. There's too much stuff going on right now, but you've got the worst Star Wars takes. That's for sure. But I still love you, Fufo. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with chat and everything. But again, members, I'll try to prioritize you guys if I recognize it, but for some reason it's not emphasized. LeBron's super team number 4 might be. So it sounds like it's what he's trying to happen. I think his best interest from a legacy standpoint is Cleveland, but from a fit standpoint, what they're trying to do makes more sense than that. I don't think going to play alongside of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell and all that, to me, that would be Lakers 2.0 in the sense that you don't have much defense. You don't have much, I just don't think that works. Are they going to win a championship regardless of where LeBron goes? Unless he goes to OKC, San Antonio, or New York? Probably not. But I do think at the very least they're interesting if they if he goes to Golden State and they have an old man super team. So we'll see. Let's see here. LeBron with the Warriors is a super team. Last I checked, the Warriors barely made the playoffs. Well, do you consider the 2004 Lakers a super team? If you say yes, then this LeBron team absolutely has to be a super team. You've got superstar players who are very old. It's probably the worst super team he's ever been a part of, unless you considered like the 2023 Lakers a super team. Was it 2023? What year where we had like Westbrook and Dwight Howard and Carmelo? And I forget what year that was. I've tried to block it out of my memory. It was so bad because we were expected to win 50 something games and we won like 34, 33. That was a bad season. LeBron to Boston is a chip guaranteed. That's probably the best situations for like if you're looking to have success outside of the teams I mentioned, but some people have thrown that out. If LeBron goes to Boston, you could kiss your Laker legacy goodbye. Like seriously, if he goes to Boston, he'll take his LeBron fans with him that'll follow him wherever he goes. I had a friend, Haley, shout out Haley. She used to say back in the day when LeBron was on the Heat, she's like, I'm not a Heat fan, I'm a where he at fan. Meaning wherever LeBron James is, she is. And she was with the Heat at that time. I think that's where LeBron's going to take his fan base wherever he goes. So obviously they follow him to Boston. But man, if he goes to the Celtics, that's such a stab in the back to us Laker fans. You can't do that after leaving us like this. I understand Shaq did it, but Shaq kind of lucks out because one, he didn't have success with them. Two, we saw him go several other organizations. We all know about the dramatic Kobe blow up, but it kind of disgusted us when Shaq was in a Celtics jersey too, to be honest. Now, ultimately, do we define that? Let that define our entire memory of Shaquille O'Neal and his relationship with us? No, but again, if you're going to be competing in the playoffs, if you're going to be competing for a championship and potentially win a championship, oh yeah, you can kiss your Laker legacy goodbye, which is already a divided legacy that not everybody's united on. 2023 reunion Lakers, yeah, basically. Let's see here. Cycling says LeBron doesn't have a legacy anyway. Yeah, God, listen, you're a member. I love you. Cycling, we've had some great conversations. You cannot say he doesn't have a legacy anywhere. You're about to tell me LeBron doesn't have a legacy in Cleveland? Cleveland. The only championship they won in the history of their franchise. Even most of the bigs LeBron's haters will say he has a legacy there. Come on, Cycling. Come on. I'll finish your comment, though. He's been too much of a mercenary his whole career. He's, at best, going to be remembered in Cleveland. But barely. But barely, he says. LeBron back to Miami. His you-know-what clinic is down there. Oh, all right. I read enough of that one. I see where it's going. So, anyway, there's a lot of news going on today. But it's official, guys. For those of you who just joining in, again, I feel like I have to do this because we've got people coming in, people going out. The Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James are parting ways. It's over. It's over. And now he's moving on. Looks like he's going to the Golden State Warriors. They're the team that's favored, but that part's not official. They're trying to position for it. They've been trying to acquire Anthony Davis to help appeal LeBron to Golden State, but that might not need to happen after all. My thoughts are if LeBron is telling and Rich Paul is telling the Lakers organization that it's over, there's no way LeBron would be doing that if he didn't already know where he wants to go. He would keep his options open. Either that or he just hates the Lakers management and the organization so much at this point that he just desperately wants off. But to me, I think that's a solid indication that LeBron knows where he's going. And it's all just us waiting to find out where that is. The funny thing is, it just doesn't carry the gravity that it used to because the best teams in the league right now are really, really young teams. It's not super teams. Long gone are the days where you could just throw three really good superstars together and expect them to dominate. San Antonio is really good, and they're going to be better next year. OKC is really good, and they're probably going to be better next year. New York just went 16-3 through the playoffs. Now, I understand the Eastern Conference wasn't completely healthy, but I do see it as a bit of a validation that they handled the San Antonio Spurs in 5 games in the NBA Finals, completing one of the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. Now the Lakers have cap room to get Zion Williamson. Everybody should be knocking down the Pelicans' door, please. No, I don't think Zion is the piece we need. Just some humble, quiet role players that are going to be like good defensive players. I don't mean like they actually have to be quiet, but I mean in the sense that like they're not big, noteworthy names. We need some 3-and-D type guys. And then the best center we can get. The best lob catcher and rim protector we can get, because Luka loves his centers like that. Is it wrong that I wouldn't have extended AR? No, I don't say it's wrong. I would have extended AR knowing that we still have money to go after other guys, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. We have to see how it plays out. And with that money, who knows? Maybe we put like a couple stars next to Luka and not just one, because now we have that Austin Reeves money. But if I was presented with that situation, I think I keep Reeves, because I also think, this is just a guess, but I think it's an educated guess based on the chemistry I saw from them last year. I think that Luka probably wants to keep Austin Reeves. He's a good weapon. He reminds him of Kyrie in a way. You can't blow up that team, and you got to try to do your very best to show that you care about Luka Doncic, because Luka, when he came from Dallas, he was emotional. He felt betrayed. He was traded in the middle of the night and nobody freaking told him. Okay. That's insane to me, that he was an MVP candidate and he took your team to the NBA Finals and they traded him in the middle of the night without even giving him a heads up. That's criminal, dude. Like that should steer people away from going to the Dallas Mavericks, as long as they have same general management and ownership, for a long time. Because that's insane that you treated Luka Doncic like that. If you're going to treat Luka like that, what you're going to treat your role players like? So Lakers need to see that as an opportunity to win Luka over, by showing him he's valuable, by showing him that he's going to be included on all the information, essentially doing the complete opposite of what Dallas is doing to gain his favor, to try to help keep him a Los Angeles Laker for life. That's what you got to do. Get close to your mic and do your YouTube voice. So quick little thing here. If you guys are looking to be an NBA YouTuber, it doesn't take much, because I don't use this mic to record my videos. I use my laptop. Okay. So the mic on my laptop, and you guys are, say whatever mean things you want, get a real mic, all that sort of thing. Listen, I hope it's an encouragement to any of you looking to be YouTubers. It doesn't take much to get started, and it's worked for me up to this point. So it's this mic. So obviously it's going to sound a little bit different, but let me read my last script. What was my last script here? On July 18th, 2018, one of the most stunning trades in NBA history took place. The San Antonio Spurs traded away their two-time DPOY winner, their MVP candidate, and the Finals MVP winner. Does this sound a little bit more familiar? Again, it's still a different mic, but people are like, you're not Johnny Arnett. You sound nothing like Johnny Arnett. Well, it's not my reading voice, and it's a different mic, so that's how it tends to go. Let's see here. Cavs were idiots for trading for James Harden. Even, man, you are on one today, Cycling. You are venomous today. He's been a crunch time disaster since he was the sixth man stinking it up in the 20s. As harsh as you are, you're right, though. You're right. I made a video, I think 2 years ago, going over the complete history of James Harden in the playoffs. And honestly, I knew what my intention was heading into that video. I wanted to show just how bad it was. I wanted to show that there's a legitimate argument for him being the worst playoff performing superstar in the history of the NBA. But even I, knowing that, was going through season by season going, oh my gosh, it's so much worse than I thought. And he's had like 2 postseasons since then, which further that narrative. Crazy, man. Crazy. Johnny, is LeBron in your top 10 Lakers all time, including Minneapolis Lakers? If so, where do you rank him? Shoot, off the top of my head, I don't know. I've never actually done a list off of that. He's definitely not top 5 for sure. Top 10? Kobe, Shaq, Jerry West, Kareem, Magic, James Worthy. Absolutely. Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. He technically never won a championship with us, but he still was there at the start of the 1972 season, and the Lakers offered him a championship ring. I mean, once you start going there, now you're comparing like, well, George Mikan's there. What are we at, 9? I don't know. When it's all said and done, you might not be including LeBron in that. That's tough though, because you're going to look at like who had the most success for the Lakers. People are talking about LeBron James getting a statue outside of Los Angeles. Um, I will say this: we have a statue of Elgin Baylor out there who technically never won a championship with us. If you're going to give a statue to a Los Angeles Laker who currently doesn't have one, it should be big game James worthy. Are you kidding me? So first of all, he was a part of many of our championships with the Showtime Lakers. He was known for his clutch gene. He was the 1988 Finals MVP. And when he was the Finals MVP, he finished game 7 of the NBA Finals against the Detroit Pistons with 36, 16, and 10. Okay. One of the most monstrous triple doubles in NBA Finals history. If he doesn't do that, we lose to the Detroit Pistons in 1988. And that then becomes their first championship of 3 straight championships for the Bad Boy Pistons. So to me, I've been saying this forever. James Worthy absolutely deserves a statue out there for the Lakers before anyone else. Like he needs to get one right now. Let's see here. Let me try to catch up with chat a little bit. We'll see how long we go with these streams, of course. And I also need to check X, social media, Instagram, just to see how, what is going on, because things are happening constantly. If anybody wants to update me on some breaking news in the chat, please do, because there are things popping off constantly right now. You should do a top 10 Lakers. Yeah, I could do that. Might do that. You sound like that guy. Yeah, my evil twin, Johnny Arnett, who actually reads the scripts while I do the live streams. I feel like Elgin Baylor and LeBron are around the same all-time Laker convos. I will say, though, Elgin was there a lot longer. So there is that. So if you want to do the longevity thing, which a lot of LeBron fans usually do, there is also Pau Gasol. Now, Pau Gasol was around for a similar amount of time to LeBron, but he does have 2 championships. So there's that. Also, like, Pau in our hearts for the way he's just helped, be an aid to Kobe's family after Kobe's passing. Pau Gasol was a great player for us, a great legend for us, but that takes the way I look at him and just takes it to like legend status. I love Pau Gasol, man. Let's see here. He surely can't have a statue outside of Los Angeles somewhere. So you're not saying outside of Staples. I want to keep calling it Staples, even though it's crypto, but I still want to call it Staples. Real Laker fans call it Staples. Bye-bye, Bronny. It's funny. I'm giving more Bronny updates than anything else. Bronny has a guaranteed contract. We don't know what's going to happen. So, we'll see. Breaking news. LeBron are getting, oh my God. You guys are going off on that. I'll tell you what, though, if you're a general sports fan and you've been around long enough, I'm not going to use the words because I don't know how YouTube feels about it and that sort of thing, but related to this subject matter, I remember what it was like to be on the Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire craze in 1998. I remember what it was like to be absolutely amazed by Barry Bonds when he was breaking all those home run records, when he was hitting 73 and all that. I was watching and I was enamored with it. I remember the way Lance Armstrong was celebrated for winning all the Tour de France that many times. And if you said anything about that stuff back then when they were being celebrated, you probably would have been hated for it. I hope LeBron's clean. Let me just put it that way. I very much hope LeBron's clean, but I've been through this song and dance a few times before. So I'm going to try not to make assumptions, but nothing surprises me at this point. Let's just put it that way. I love Sammy Sosa. Yeah, Sammy was fun. I still remember watching the game on SportsCenter when he got caught with a corked bat. LeBron is ruining the NBA. Well, apparently he's not this season because according to NBA.com, for one, but a lot of news outlets, NBA ratings were absolutely crazy this season, and it's no surprise why. Victor Wembanyama is starting to assert himself as one of the faces in the league. Assuming health, he probably will eventually become the face of the league. But the New York Knicks being in the NBA Finals, that was an event. Okay. The San Antonio Spurs didn't have one home game. I get they did in technicality, But the amount of New York fans that traveled out to San Antonio to watch those NBA games made it not really a home game because those New York fans were loud, they were passionate. That was an event. Johnny, the baseball fan, I am a casual baseball fan. Casual. I tune in for all-time greats. Shohei Ohtani has got me paying attention. I'm not going to say I'm a real Dodger fan because I'm a fair weather fan. I'm there when they're good. Call me a casual baseball fan. I absolutely am. But for me, there are other sports where guys make you want to pay attention. Tiger Woods made me watch golf religiously because he was just sensational. He had the charisma, he had the competitive gene, wearing red on Sundays. Dude, he's knocking down putts that are just like, it's not the most thrilling thing, right? But the way he's pointing it down, the way he's fist pumping, the way he's rallying back, the way he's intimidating everybody around him. I got to watch for that, man. Like, that's greatness. So he's got me paying attention. Tom Brady got me paying attention to the NFL more than I was originally. Even Michael Vick, when he was electric with Atlanta, and then when he came back out of prison for the Eagles, I was like, this is amazing. I need to watch this. And now Shohei's doing that with the Dodgers for me. I have to watch a guy who's an elite pitcher and an elite hitter simultaneously. STR, you've been here forever. You usually show up to my streams and even my gaming channel and stuff. I appreciate you, man. Good to have you in here as always. Just casual viewer. This guy's a member. Thank you for being here as always, man. It's good to see you. Says LeBron maybe, all caps, maybe deserves a statue. Not because of the number of rings, but because he brought a championship to the Lakers when they had become a joke. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, that's always going to translate to a debate with the bubble and how much we value that. I did make a video on this channel before the bubble happened. So it's not just because I'm a Laker fan, okay? I did make a video before the NBA season came back in 2020. And I said, let's not discredit this season because of how goofy everything is, because we know that they're all competing in a similar type situation. Now, am I going to go above and beyond like some other young NBA YouTubers? Not some other, I'm not young, but the young NBA YouTubers that say it was the greatest form of basketball that the history has ever seen? Absolutely not. Come on, man. Like, I get what you're saying. It was just like a quiet gym. It's just pure basketball in that sense. But in a way, there's no atmosphere, there's no crowd, there's no pressure in a way, or not the pressure in the same way that they're used to having it. There's this big opening in the middle of season, which is kind of advantageous to older players and stuff. It was weird, okay? But from a competitive standpoint, it's not LeBron's fault that Clippers choked a 3-1 lead, okay? Like, you can't. I remember Pandemic P. We can't blame LeBron for that. Is the most impressive championship I've ever seen? No. Was it great playoff atmosphere? Absolutely not. That's what I have to say about that. Tiger Woods is an athlete you should hate as a human, but you cannot hate him. That's a whole other bag of worms, bro. A2, good to see you. The elite competition gets Johnny's attention. Yes, good to see you. She's one of my big supporters from my Nintendo channel. So good to see you here. Jordan versus LeBron at their prime, best year. Who you got for regular season MVP and NBA Finals? I think Michael Jordan peak is taking that. I think Michael Jordan was much better at his peak. Obviously, that turns into a longevity versus peak thing. But to me, Michael Jordan's numbers, consider it this way. Michael Jordan built up a career as the greatest scorer in NBA history at a time where there wasn't supposed to be a bunch of scoring. Now, this past season, teams were averaging about 117 points per game. When Michael Jordan retired from the Bulls in the 90s, they were averaging about 97 a game. When Michael Jordan scored 45 points, the rest of the Chicago Bulls in Game 6 of the 1990 NBA Finals had like 42. Okay, he scored more than the rest of his team combined. I think if you adjust for the inflation, you give Michael Jordan all the spacing they have today, I think he's averaging minimum 35 points a game. If you're talking peak MJ, it also depends on what his team makeup is. But yeah, I've always been an MJ guy, but now that the season is over, I got bored. I got all the Hitman games for like $7 last night. Hell yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, lots of fun video games came out. I've been playing the Star Fox remaster, but now we're getting off into the weeds. Let me get back to NBA stuff. Man, I wish LeBron dropped later in this day because I'm still at work. Won't stop me from lurking though. Well, I thank you for being here, October Heights. And again, I just want to say this. while I can. If you want more frequent streams and be a part of the streams, I do have them on memberships. Memberships is something I never wanted to start, but because YouTube started putting less thumbnails on the homepage and it really hit my channel, I had to adjust the way I do some things on YouTube. And so that's why I started memberships. I did a video where I explained everything going on, and I got to give membership something. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing exclusive videos over there and live streams while still producing videos on the channel at the same rate for everyone else. So I'm doing my best to make everybody happy. But I'll try to do these streams here for every viewer once or twice a month. But if you're a member, you get them 3 or 4 times a week. So that's how we do it. And then it's fun because I can respond to everything for those people. If LeBron deserves a ring, doesn't AD deserve one too then? You mean a statue, Dario? I don't think either of them do, but there's a lot of picking and choosing when talking about these statues. Well, yeah, exactly. Now, you could argue LeBron's been there longer than AD, but in terms of like the success they had, first of all, there's an argument on whether or not LeBron deserved the finals MVP. If you look at their numbers, they were both fantastic in 2020. They were both incredible. So yeah, based on that logic, Dario, but then that becomes tricky because, again, I don't mean this to be disrespectful. A ring's a ring. But at the same time, the Lakers are the Lakers. How many banners do they have? Do you give every guy a statue the instant they win a championship? Because to me, there's levels to this. Obviously, you're like celebrated, you're an all-star, that sort of thing. But then there's your jersey's retired. And above your jersey being retired is your statue. To me, they've done enough to have jerseys retired, but a statue should be a big deal. I think it's even debatable whether or not like Elgin should have got a statue. Again, he technically never won a championship for us. But because Elgin was given a statue, that's why it's a conversation with LeBron, because the bar's a little bit lower. No, I don't think LeBron deserves a statue, says Rye, longtime Laker fan here. I think statues should be really special. Tons of rings or a life dedicated to the team, or both, of course. I guess under that description, life dedicated to the team, that is Elgin Baylor. He spent his entire career with the Lakers, so that's a good argument. It was good hoops. Yeah, I don't deny that. I did watch the bubble. I absolutely lost my mind when Luka Doncic hits that shot. I think multiple things could be true at once. I think it was good basketball, but it was no way a legitimate playoff atmosphere. And I'm glad the NBA season came back and we finished it up. I am. And I do count it as a championship. But there are variables there where it's like, it's not the most impressive championship ever, because again, what are the NBA playoffs without NBA playoff atmosphere? It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. Sham's notification I just got says LeBron said money not a focus on free agent destination. Well, I'm glad. We've been seeing a lot of stupid fake news posts recently saying LeBron's still pursuing the max. Honestly, if LeBron was pursuing the max, I don't know if he'd have a team next year. Like genuinely, he's going to be turning 42, guys. Like 42, like the max. And so I kind of always thought that was BS. So yeah. And if he's going to be going to Golden State, Draymond just opted out. Sounds like maybe there's some finagling. It feels like Miami all over again, where guys were positioning themselves to take a little bit less money so they could make this super team. It might be that situation again. Let's see here. Everybody's trying to turn it into a bubble argument, but I don't want it to just be all that. You're young, Johnny. Remember, this is the youngest you'll ever be again, so make the most of it. Getting older has been fun though. Like being a dad, it's tough, but it's also fun. My daughter's the best thing best little thing that's ever been added to my life. Shohei is the face of LA sports right now. I agree. It was gross. I was watching a podcast with Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher was on this podcast, and they did a vote, and they said, is Los Angeles a Lakers town or a Dodgers town? Now, to be fair, this is a basketball chat, so I'm sure everybody in the chat over here is going to say Los Angeles is a Lakers town. Derek freaking Fisher said it was a Dodger town, and I was like, it got so deep, but I think it's been there. Like, Lakers haven't won a championship since 2020, and we didn't even have a parade for that one for obvious reasons. So the last time we got to be a part of a championship parade was in the summer of 2010. Okay, That's how long it's been for us. And I understand it's been much longer for some of you. I know how it works. I can feel Phoenix Suns fans like yelling in my ears right now. But yeah, that's how long it's been. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, they won in 2020. They just won in 2024. They've won in 2025. And they're probably going to win in 2026. I get why it's a Dodger town right now. It pains me to say that, but I get it. Nintendo channel, Zeltroid. It covers, I actually split the channels. So Zeltroid covers Metroid. The Bearded Kokiri covers Zelda. And you can imagine I'm going to be covering a lot of the Ocarina of Time remake. Waiting for the video essay crossover, why LeBron is the Ganondorf of the NBA and Curry is right. We're probably getting to a point where we should wrap up this stream. It's getting goofy. Do you play Smash Brothers? And if yes, who's your favorite character to play? It was Fox for the longest time, but I just don't like the way he plays now in Smash Ultimate. I was Fox every single game until Smash Ultimate. Now I have a Bowser main and I have Isabelle as my backup because I like kind of a mix. You got your very monstrous, mean, brute. And then I got my little cute Animal Crossing character, and me and my wife love Animal Crossing. So that's how I do it. Randomly hopped into a live during work. Yeah, Mammon, it's good to see you as always, dude. To see the chat talking about video games again. The NBA channel back to its scheduled programming. I know I'm trying to remain focused, but I kind of love the rabbit holes that we go down sometimes. Good to see you in here. This guy's a legend member. We actually have a segment going live soon where we're recapping the 2026 NBA season on the Johnny Talks channel. So shout out to you, dude. Good to see you as always. Thing is, honestly, Prime MJ was Prime MJ because of the punishing rules he played under. He'd still dominate today like he did, but he wouldn't be that MJ because it wouldn't be forced to develop. Yeah, and we're also to a certain extent the product of our surroundings and the atmosphere we grew up in. It would be really, really fascinating to see how Michael Jordan, with his ego, with his mentality, with him trying to maintain a squeaky clean image, because even if you're a big Jordan fan, he absolutely cared about that. Like Mike, I could be like Mike. Like he tried to maintain this really clean good guy persona. And in the age of social media, where we see honestly too much of other people's lives, it'd be fascinating to see how MJ would have grown up in this era for sure. How his career would have panned out. You do so much for the channel. I hope you got enough time for you and your family. I do. And my wife now has, like I said, has her own Pokemon channel. So, I mean, she gets it. She understands how it is. Anyway, you guys caught the news. LeBron's leaving the Lakers. It's coming from Shams, coming from Rich Paul himself. That's the report. So, yeah, that's why I was sharing the screen on that. Best Laker born on December 30th, LeBron or Didier Benga? That is peak LeBron hater energy right there. Dario has a point. Says just casual viewer. If LeBron deserves a statue, then AD deserves one too. The difference is that LeBron is more famous. Played a little bit longer. Technically, he was the finals MVP. Some people debate that should have gone to AD or at the very least co-MVPs. But yeah, there's a point to it for sure. Off topic of Lakers, but if FGA happens to win a championship next year, does that give him an argument for a top 3 point guard ever? Well, honestly, that's complicated because I don't think that gives him an argument for top 3 point guard ever. Because if you think of the greatest point guards in NBA history, just going by the title of point guard, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson. I still have, Magic's my 1. Steph Curry's my 2. Jerry West played some point guard too. Jerry West is a point guard in the way SGA is a point guard. But a lot of people consider SGA a 2, even though he technically plays a point guard. That shooting guard, point guard conversation always gets weird for that same reason. Same thing with Allen Iverson. Do you consider him a 1 or a 2? Yeah, it's kind of weird. Lakers supporter since 1987. Bron, the best player to wear a Lakers jersey. Man, one of my mods banned this, man. You're not about to say that on my channel over Kobe in a Lakers conversation. But that's a debate there. I rank my players and I change my mind from video to video. I don't, that's the one thing that's different about me from most NBA people. I don't take player rankings too seriously because I kind of see it the way MJ does and Kobe does, in the sense that it's not something you can definitively win. So like, why waste your time? The reason I waste my time, it is kind of fun and it makes for good YouTube content, good YouTube conversation, but I certainly don't tie like emotions to it, you know. They could get the same guy who made the new Messi statue to make to make one for LeBron that is both praise and an insult. Everyone is happy. There you go. Let's see here. While I agree, it's pretty much every point you made in the Jordan LeBron debate. I have always wondered why you don't delve into just how rough, unsportsmanlike Detroit was versus Jordan. Now I do a lot. I do less than I used to. When I first started the NBA channel, I made a video called "How the NBA Became Soft." They're talked about a lot in that video. If you're talking about why I don't use that to talk up MJ's resume, I don't feel like I have to, but I mean, it certainly adds to it. The thing about the bad boy Pistons and the why they were able to take advantage of, what they did is the NBA didn't firmly establish the flagrant foul until 1990. And I think the Pistons were a big part of that. They still had the flagrant foul, but they basically never called it. Like it was in the rule book, but they never called it. Hard fouls were either a common foul or maybe it was a technical, but most of the time it was a common foul. So the logic in the 1980s was if you're going to foul a guy for attacking the basket, trying to get a layup or a dunk, why not get your money's worth? Make him think twice about coming in there and just smash into the dude, And so that's what they're doing. That's what they did for a while. I just realized how far behind chat I am. I got to catch up before I wrap this up. But yeah, so that is definitely a tough thing to deal with. And the fact that MJ still averaged as many points as he did, and he still kept going at the Pistons, regardless of the fact that they were trying to get in his head and physically punishing him. Yeah, that is definitely impressive and worth bringing up for MJ. Let's try to catch up a little bit because my goodness, I'm sorry, chat. I'm so behind. I'm used to member streams where we usually aren't going that fast. Johnny, have you ever played Punch Out? Yes, and it makes me absolutely sad that it's no longer Mike Tyson's Punch Out because of copyright. If you're to try to play the version on Nintendo Switch online service, it's just Punch Out without Mike Tyson. But I still own it. I still own the NES version with Mike Tyson. And yes, I have played it. It's fun. It's very fun. Battletoads was my favorite game from back then. I like Battletoads and Double Dribble for you longtime hoop fans. You guys remember Double Dribble and your 360 3-point shots that almost never missed? That's a deep cut for some of you guys. A new Lakers era begins. Rid of LeBron clutch and obnoxious LeBron fans. What a day. I will say, can I say this? I want to say this in front of the mic, in front of my channel, in front of a public audience. The thing I am most happy about that we're finding out today about LeBron being gone from the Lakers is these fans who speak for the Lakers, who don't give a rat's ass about anything Lakers outside of their guy. That's what I'm sick of. When they're trashing Stu Lance and Bill McDonald, the Lakers local commentators, because they actually try to be objective about LeBron at times, get out of here. You don't speak for real Laker fans. When they, talk about how mundane or lethargic, Lawrence Tanter, the longtime commentator, and now for your Laker girls, I remember seeing LeBron fans talking about this guy's so dull, lifeless. You need to show more enthusiasm and energy for our king. Man, get the hell out. Okay, this guy's been doing it since like the 70s. Okay, we love his voice here. Those are the type of things I'm so ready to be done with, and that's the worst part about like any bandwagon fans joining, your fan base. I'm sure Warriors fans in like around 2015 had to deal with that a lot, where you went through the blood, sweat, and tears of Run TMC in the 90s, of the We Believe years in the 2000s, that sort of thing. And now you got all these people coming in that weren't a part of that want to speak for you and your fan base. Sick of that, dude. We're cleaning house. We just got real Laker fans sticking around because I guarantee you these LeBron fans, they're not going to stay Laker fans. They're going to follow him to wherever he goes. That's just how it goes. I'm down for Bron to come to the Warriors, says a Warriors fan. I mean, what do we have to lose? Yeah, I think at this point, if you're committed to Steph Curry, you want him to be there the rest of your career. And you're just going to see this thing out, which at this point is very clear they're going to see this thing out. This is really your last chance at a huge hurrah, So yeah, from that standpoint, I agree. What do you have to lose? And people have been talking about that forever, dreaming about the LeBron and Steph Curry tandem. Now we actually get to see it. So let's see what happens. I think there are people here that don't have LeBron in top 10. There are people who do, and there are people that don't. My own audience is kind of split on it because I try to be, you know, impartial about it. So I get both, and we get wars in the comments. LeBron is a bad to add to his never list ending list of superstar teammates. Yeah, it's adding Steph Curry to that list. To be fair, it is somewhat natural that that list is going to be longer because he's played for 3,000 years. Um, but yes, he is adding a lot of superstar names to it. Johnny, what are your thoughts on Ja Morant trade to Portland? It makes them a little bit more exciting. I heard that there were some people that were speculating that maybe they were positioning themselves to make a play at Jaylen Brown. Um, Honestly, it's exciting in a way, but it's almost kind of disappointing because between that and Giannis going to the Miami Heat, we're getting a lot of big name moving, big name players moving without feeling like it's changing the power dynamics of the NBA. Like, you got a nice twin tower tandem defensively between Giannis and Bam. They're protecting the rim, that sort of thing, but they don't have 3-point shooting. They're not going to be able to space the floor. Now, to be fair, a lot of acquisitions, free agency, all that still has to happen. So they got time to fill that out. But honestly, from like an Eastern Conference standpoint as a whole, like how much does that change things? Him going from Milwaukee to Miami. Miami will have more appeal because people like South Beach. So for the foreseeable future, they might be able to acquire now more stars to play with Giannis. But immediately that doesn't change much of anything. Same thing with Ja Morant going to the Blazers. Blazers right now don't look like a threat. Right now, they got too many guards, they got too many wings, and they need to, start focusing on bringing in some good 4s and 5s. So I don't take them seriously yet either. So it's interesting. I hope he redeems himself there. I hope he has a great career there. But from a big picture standpoint, not too much. By the way, have you had a chance to watch the Soccer World Cup? Just moments of it. They're helping Messi in an even more ridiculously way that they helped the Lakers in 2002. That's hilarious because I've seen people doing the opposite and just praising Messi for his greatness, but I know he's very late in his career at this point. Sub to the Zelda channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Given how Jordan hot fueled by negativity, all he'd have to do in today's game is read some hate comments on X before a game and they take it out on his opponent. He'd average north of 40. Yeah, he just used the internet as motivation 24/7. Rye, what's up? Got to read the members' comment. Says, about something that was said before, as someone the same age as Johnny, I have to say I'm absolutely loving the stage of my life. Admittedly, my knees are not the same though. I think that's the hardest part about getting older, to be honest. I love having a wife. I love doing what I want with my time and my money. As long as you make responsible decisions, it doesn't have to be too bad. Obviously, I got my dream job, so I do what I want and wake up when I want, but I still have to be diligent. I still work very hard, clearly, because you members see me streaming all the time, making videos consistently. But getting old's not that bad. It's your body hurting in ways you can't explain. It's going, why is this bothering me? This feels serious, and then it's not serious. And it's just like, and that's a lot. It's just pretty consistent. And it becomes more consistent as you get older. Like that aspect starts showing up in your 30s and it just continues until you're done. So that's the part that I'm like, this is definitely the worst part of getting older for sure. Saw that one. Zigzag, good to see you. Another member here says people overlook the scrutiny MJ faced. Just look at his gambling problems. Yeah. And how it was linked to his father's death. Yeah, that whole conspiracy there, they were delving into that hard in 1993. Imagine how LeBron would react to people if the media did that to him. Yeah, I think that would be even more obviously magnified now. Speaking of the whole gambling thing, my goodness, that's a whole nother live stream. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about that for, but maybe that's the next member stream. Any chance LeBron goes to Miami? The odds of that are apparently slimmer. I don't think he's a good fit. I don't think he's a great fit, but again, LeBron's at this point isn't necessarily thinking about fits so much. I think why it's going to be Golden State is not only does he get to play with Steph, not only are they trying to bring in AD, not only are him and Draymond close. You have to remember now, LeBron's kids are teenagers, okay? So now they're established in California. They're established in SoCal. LeBron's wife is there too. And we knew that she wanted to live in Los Angeles based on things they've said in the past. So now if you go east, you got to uproot the entire family too, potentially, depending on if they want to do a long distance thing. But I also know he doesn't want to be away from his family that long as a family man myself. So yeah, I to me, I think it's pretty obvious it's going to be Golden State. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times before. But right now I'm thinking it's Golden State. If LeBron joins the Warriors, that's the least alpha move ever. I think at this point, LeBron just wants to play with who he wants to play with. And I think at this point, he knows he's got a million haters and a million fans. So he's just going to do what he wants. I wouldn't discard the Miami rumors, even if Golden State is the current favorites. Yeah, I know that his family has had to have some tough conversations about it for sure. Miami is probably number 2 favorites right now. I just I don't know. I also don't know how long LeBron wants to play. I imagine for him and his longevity thing, I he probably is looking at the aspect of playing for 25 years, a quarter century. This is year 4. 24 he's going into. So if he can get one more year after that, that's 25 years. So I think there's a chance that he could do both. He plays this year in Golden State, has a run with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, maybe AD as well, but it's on a 1-year deal. Maybe it's a 2-year deal and he has a player option. And then maybe next year, if Cleveland's ready for him, he goes to Cleveland and wraps up that way with a farewell tour. He could really do both. It's in his hands. And I think if he goes there, plays with Steph Curry, that sort of thing, they'll give him whatever contract he wants in terms of those, variables, those perks. I don't think they'll give him whatever money he wants, but whatever stipulations he wants, they'll probably do that. And yes, I agree. Getting older is a lot of fun too. Becoming the meme uncle is absolutely amazing. But everybody's life is different. Just remember, if you're going through a hard time of life, life has seasons. Life has seasons. My hardest point in life was probably my teens and some of my early 20s. But my 30s have been so much better than that. So don't just fear getting older. Just try to make good decisions. I've been making better decisions in my 30s than I did in my 20s. And that's why my life's better now. The only championship caliber team that LeBron fits in narratively or natively and without changing anything is Boston. They're a true 4-man out team, bombing threes, whether up or down 30. He's honestly should go there. From the Lakers standpoint, that burns bridges. But from an X's and O standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't get to play with his friends though. Can he just leave overall from the league? I mean, I think he got at least 1 more year, maybe 2 more years. We'll see. Thanks for clearing that up about fouls. I didn't know that. Yeah. Back in the 80s and 90s, most of the 80s, they could get their money's worth. In the 90s, that's when they started doing the flagrant fouls. That was one of the 1990 when they really strongly implemented that. That was one of those big momentum shifting things in the NBA. That was like a historic event. Another one, Malice of the Palace. You saw quicker technical fouls, less trash talking, less guys leaving the bench, less all-out brawls. The Malice of the Palace, David Stern saw that as a black eye on the NBA, and he was determined to change up the image of the league and make it softer. 3 years later, might have ruined an entire what could have been championship season for the Phoenix Suns out over a overly strict technicality related to the Malice of the Palace. So yes, for me, those were some big ones and building the NBA that we have today. It's been a lot though, building up to that. Let's see here. I don't know who's more annoying, Laker fans or LeBron fans. LeBron fans at their peak, but Laker fans for longevity. Yeah, you're a Spurs fan, so I obviously know you don't like us very much. Also, our expectations on win all the time at all costs. We should be winning. We're the biggest, baddest, that sort of thing. I know whenever I talk like that, it just drives you insane, but that's how it is, man. We don't hang up, division banners, as Kobe said. We hang up championship banners. That's the culture here. You either get with it or you get out. That's how it is. Apparently, we hang up mid-season championship banners, though, the in-season tournament. Blech. I'm not proud of that as a Lakers fan that we hung that up, by the way. I am not. By the way, Mind the Game channel posted LeBron Curry talking about teaming up for the Olympics 2024 2 hours before this news. Best PR team ever. Yeah, that's great timing for sure. Which is kind of funny because we might look back on it and be like, they've been telling us all along. Like they've really telegraphed it. Punch Out is it impossible to beat on a modern TV. I need an old CRT TV. I was so good at beating Mike Tyson. I have the Mike Tyson edition. Nice. Rye, another member, says Fufo blatantly calling the streamer annoying, terrible. Nah, it's okay. It's sports rivalries. That's what we got to do. Rest in peace, Chick Hearn, the Lakers' longtime commentator. First of all, history lesson real quick before we try to start wrapping this stream up. Chick Hearn was the Lakers commentator for over 40 years, okay? And you think, oh, he's special to us Laker fans. Now, he passed around like 2002, I think, 2002, during our third straight championship run, and I cried that day like a baby. I was so sad that Chick Hearn passed because he was the voice of the Lakers. This game is in the refrigerator. The lights are out, the eggs are cold, the butter's getting hard, the jello's jiggling. That was his line. But Chick Hearn is so much more than that. If you're a regular NBA fan, you should know who this guy is because Chick Hearn invented the term slam dunk, frozen rope, give and go. Like, just look up Chickisms or Chick Hearn phrases on Google. You'll find out very quickly that much of your vernacular today as an NBA fan is because of that man, Chick Hearn. That guy deserves his own video for sure. I've mentioned Chick and talked about that little history tidbit and videos that were not just dedicated to him, but I got to do one just for him because, like, yeah, he still influences the way we talk day to day on a regular basis about hoops. Haven't seen that many Luka fans. Did not see one today, but there's not that many guys, not in the same sense of what the LeBron fans are. But that's part of that's just a time thing. It's going to take some time to build that up. They'll get there. I was trying to join earlier. I really prayed to God. Bron stands stay away from Golden State. You a Dubs fan? They're coming. If he joins, they're coming, dude. You're going to be in for a dogfight as far as like speaking for Laker fans. I don't mind them being there if he's there, you know, like obviously his fans are going to come with him. It's when you try to speak for the Lakers fan base that I'm like, no, because I know that one, you weren't here before him, and two, you're not going to be here after him, so you don't speak for us, that sort of thing. They're trading players like Pokemon cards. Yeah, exactly. Except you trade Pokemon cards less nowadays because they're worth a crazy amount and you don't want to make a mistake. What are your thoughts on Melo going to the Timberwolves? We talked about that. Top Dog, good to see you because I think you're a member too. You must have missed that stream. I'm not sure about what the Wolves are doing. We got several members who are Minnesota Timberwolves fans. Giving up Naz Reid, I hate that. I've always been a big fan of Naz Reid. Julius Randle, they gave away for a box of cookies. LaMelo Ball last year, taking about 18 shots a game, shot 40.7% from the field. Okay. Now, I'm not one of those guys usually who's like a big preacher of like efficiency, because I feel like a lot of the times young fans just look straight at field goal percentage to find out who's better. And there's some context that's missing. But it gets to a certain point where it's so low. In the modern NBA, where field goal percentages are higher than they were in like the 2000s, I just don't think he takes many good shots. Now you're putting him in the backcourt alongside of Ant. I can see Ant getting really, really frustrated with some of the shots that he takes, with some of the efficiency that he has, because that is also something that Ant, I know from press conferences, from interviews, he pays a lot to his three-point shots. He pays attention to his three-point efficiency. I'm nervous about that. Now, my co-host on the Johnny Talks podcast, Dario, did bring up the point that LaMelo now isn't going to be getting all the defensive attention that he was getting on his old team. So now that he's with Minnesota, he might be getting cleaner looks. He expects that percentage to go up. So I bet $20 with him that it's not going to go up 2 percentage points. I don't think he gets above 42%. I don't think so. But we'll see. So I'm not a big fan of it. I just don't understand from a fit type standpoint. I don't understand from a decision-making standpoint. It's nice to hear that Anthony Edwards immediately dispelled the trade rumors when they try to make it seem like, oh, he's frustrated, he's going to ask for a trade. So good on him. But outside of that, Minnesota, it looks like a mess to me right now. I'm not a big fan of it. It would be hilarious if LeBron joined the third tier of Spurs just to collect a ring. Can you imagine? The YouTube videos. Oh my goodness, that'd be intense. I think I'd just go live and laugh for the chaos. Let's see here. Trying to catch up. Guys, like I said, thank you for being a part of this. I do think I want to do a live stream for general viewers every once in a while. Do either like once a month or twice a month. But again, if you want to be a part of these regularly, memberships at the bottom level, everybody gets the streams. If you go up to the second level, you get the exclusive videos too. But again, not expected. I do want to do these just somewhat for you guys too in general. Let's see here. God, I'm so far behind. Wizards are now in talks for LeBron. Hold on, guys. Hold on. What a wild card if that's true. Okay, hold on. Are you BSing me right now? Are you BSing? I'm going to look at Shams's page. Let's go seek out Twitter a little bit. Let's see what's going on. So LeBron, was this, somebody confirm this in the chat. Is this real? Because that would make sense if Washington doesn't want to trade him, but he really wants to go play with AD. Okay, I don't see anything from Shams on that. I could see a lot of BS stuff. Yeah, no, I don't see anything on that from him. And until he reports it, I'm not sure how legitimate I'm going to think that is. That would be interesting, though. Like if the Wizards could free up the space, and maybe then it's just like the craziest hard left where now Steph's like, okay, now I want to be traded to the Wizards so we could have it take place there instead. Bro, the internet would be on fire if that happened. So anyway, I'll pay attention to things. Maybe I'll have an emergency live stream again, depending on what happens. Your voice doesn't fit your body. Yeah, I'm a 6'3" beast. I'm a big bearded monster. And I have a very soft-spoken YouTube reading script voice. So yeah, I understand that. I'm sorry if it confuses you and make you uncomfortable. I hate it when we have that in-season tournament banner hanging up. We were one-upped by the Knicks before they even got their ring. Let's see here. Pray for Chris Johnson. Yeah, I had him on my fantasy team back in the day. Chris Johnson of the NFL has ALS. Yeah, it's really sad. I saw some videos on that. San Antonio is now the front runners. Do a Bernard King video. He was the Jalen Brunson in the 80s with no ring, though. Still holds the record for the most points ever for a Christmas Day game. Scores 60 for his Knicks. But yeah, his knees betrayed him. Man, I forgot how bad Melo was. And that's been LaMelo's entire career. He's very, very inefficient. Listen, I'm not just an analytics guy. I'm kind of a blend between like old school NBA logic and analytics. I'm sorry. If you're a guy who scores shooting 40% from the field, I've always been harsh on that. The fact that he's going to have to share the floor and share the ball with Ant, when the Minnesota Timberwolves are at their best, it's when Ant plays the game like Giannis. Even when they were having good playoff runs and they were going deeper in the postseason, when he takes more threes, obvious, than Giannis, but when he penetrates, when he attacks the basket and he either finishes or kicks it out to a shooter, that's usually when they're operating well, is he's got to make plays. Now he's got another guy who's going to be taking the ball out of his hands, making plays less efficiently. I don't like this fit. I don't like the fit. To me, it seems like a goofy, desperate move on top of bad moves where they already traded away guys for basically nothing. The Julius Randle move just makes no sense. No matter how bad he is, you got to wait it out. You got to package him up with something. You got to get more than that because they essentially got a box of cookies in return for him. No way my glorious king left my city and my team. You're going to have to follow him now. Are you sticking with the Lakers or are you going to follow LeBron wherever he goes? I want to hear. Let me know. But yeah, LeBron is officially leaving the Lakers. We just don't know where he's going yet. It's confirmed. LeBron's point for the Thunder. LOL, wink. Yeah, right. LeBron playing for the Thunder, wink. Old man Wizards Jordan versus old man wizard LeBron, who really the GOAT. I think you take, in that situation, I would take MJ until the meniscus happened. LeBron, it'll just be the conversation all over again. If LeBron makes it through the season healthy, then you take LeBron for the longevity. But up till the meniscus tear, I'll take MJ. It'll just be the same conversation, just instead condensed into one season. Let's see here. These internet dudes need therapy. Just wait until like if they said if LeBron goes to San Antonio or OKC, which isn't happening, but I almost kind of want it to happen just to see what the videos would be like on Twitter. The internet meltdown would be legendary. Check out Legion Hoops reported it. Legion Hoops. Not necessarily my favorite sports for my favorite source for this kind of thing, but we'll check it out. Let's see here. Looking for it. I hear my daughter crying out there. My wife's got her. Oh shoot. Okay. For Scoop B. All right, I'm sharing it, guys. Here we go. Here's the report about the Wizards. This is what they're talking about. The Wizards have emerged as a wild card in the LeBron James sweepstakes. See, this is another reason why I hate these posts, because a wild card implies that they're unlikely to pull it off. And if they're unlikely to pull it off, then you can say this and put this out there, get engagement, get clicks, but you don't have to say it with your neck out there, because you could say, well, it was still true. They were just the underdogs to make it happen. Man, miss me with this. I am not treating this like it's legitimate. I cannot. It would be hilarious because I would love to make videos comparing Wizards MJ to LeBron Wizards. Like that would be so much fun. But yeah, I don't believe this for 1 second. We'll see what happens. What do you guys think about this? I mean, to me, if you're gonna do this and say Steph Curry follows you out there, that's disgusting. Okay. Don't have Steph Curry lose his loyalty tag with the Warriors over this nonsense. Yeah. So I don't believe this personally. I don't think this is happening. Basically caught up now. Let's see here. LeBron would only go to the Wizards and attempt to outdo Jordan's final Wizards years. He's so transparent. It's hilarious. Space Jam 2, number 23, chalk stuff. That is true. That is true. All right, viewers, members, this has been a ton of fun. Everybody who's been in here, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Again, if you want to be a part of live streams more, come over to become a member, or just stay tuned. I'm going to probably try to do these a little bit more often. Like I said, once or twice a month we'll go live, especially in this freaking off season. You might see me here later tonight or tomorrow based on the way things are going down. But members, I'll see you guys a few more times this week. And yeah, I appreciate all of you. Y'all have a good night. And thank you so much from me and my family for supporting my channel. I love y'all. And I'll see you the next time something crazy goes down. See how it unfolds.